celebrities. There's no personal attachment to them, you know. I can
Right.
exactly
Yeah.
have as much fun with it as I want, and they're pretty much going to be on board, you know.
Yeah. Early in my career, there weren't really portrait specialists. You know, it was kind of a thing that if you were a solid enough tattooer, it was expected that you should be able to do portraits. And so, you know, of course, you had Jack Rudy, and he did portraits, but you know, he wasn't a realist in the tradition of the realist that we know now. You know, and although he did some great likenesses, they were always, you know, done, you know, stylized a little bit in the East LA style. And of course, he was sort of the benchmark for any kind of, you know, if you're going to do a portrait, it was going to be the fine line approach. Nobody was really doing the no outline stuff yet. And then we had some of those French guys, Stéphane Chaudezeg, and some of those other artists that started showing up doing portraits like all magnum kind of approach. All of a sudden, it was a totally different game.
Yeah, it's crazy. See how this industry is evolving, and how, you know, I don't know.
Is there any way you could bring your microphone over a little closer?
Oh, sorry. No, it's on the edge of the table. I can get closer to it. Is that better?
Yeah, much better. Thank you. But yeah, like I did a Metallica portrait, and you know, a few others, Three Stooges, Marx Brothers, you know, stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
But definitely is not my not the thing that I can just do in my sleep, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Nico or Steve Butcher, or, you know, artists like that feel like they can do it in their sleep, or if it's always just as challenging.
It always varies. It's like some faces I do, it's like I can figure it out really quick and it's easy and smooth. And there's other times where it takes me hours, sometimes multiple approaches to try to figure it out. It just depends on the face, you know. And if I get in one of those situations, I end up having to reschedule my client because, you know, I got to make sure that the caricature is exactly how I want it, or I'm not going to put it on them, you know.
Right. So how many straight up portraits do you do compared to caricatures?
Straight up portraits, it's been a long time since I've done one of those. Usually it's caricature.
It's funny. My wife used to paint portraits, and she got out of it because, you know, unless you are an artist who is like renowned for being like daringly honest with your work or whatever, people mostly want vanity pieces, you know, not accurate portraits. And she just got tired of getting these lukewarm reactions from people. They're like, oh yeah, I feel old now or whatever. It's like, no, it's just exactly what you look like. Sorry.
Right.
And so she ended up moving away from portraiture. So yeah, I'm still working on the likeness aspect of what I'm doing here. I'm curious if there's a way that we could see up close what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, I see you're doing a trace over. Gotcha. Okay, so we're at 20 after. So anybody else who's drawing right now, this is figure about 10 more minutes before we start messing around with actually rotting out the face and playing around with textures, that kind of thing. I'm just hoping we can get far enough along with this. We can spend at least a few minutes towards the end doing some fun rendering. But I know that's a lot to pack into an hour. One thing that I could recommend is, especially once you feel like you've got enough of the likeness that you can proceed, is shrink it down, draw small. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and go into warp and liquefy a little bit before I proceed with any of that. Maybe not. I'm gonna try to get around that first. I mean, warp and liquefy are so. The reason why I used the word cheat earlier is, I mean, I've done that a few times, just taken a photo and gone in, warped it around for a bit, and it's fun, I mean, you can really exaggerate all you want and all the likeness is still there. Yeah, it's almost too easy.
I never really messed with it. Never messed with that before.
Huh.
Yeah, I need to try it out.
Oh yeah, I mean, just imagine the whole, especially Photoshop liquefy. I'm the most comfortable with. Imagine you've got your photo on a rubber sheet, and you can just stretch it as much as you want, and you're either stretching large areas or small areas. You basically can make the brush as large or small as you want. So you can make a large brush and push and pull the entire head, or a small brush and you can just nudge around the outer edges of an eye or whatever, and everything in between. And yeah, it's crazy how much control you can have. And that's used a lot. And imagine the fashion industry, you know what I mean? It's just every photo they're nudging people around and turning them into these perfect mannequins, no wonder everyone's insecure. There's not an honest photo out there anymore. But as far as caricature tools are concerned, it can't be beat. All right, well, I'm gonna warp it a little bit, because what the hell, why not? I'm just gonna further exaggerate the massiveness. Let's see if I can do it without losing likeness here. I'm going to go from there to liquefy, then push. And then you can just kind of nudge around the boundaries of your drawing that way too. A lot more small scale precision. Yeah, I'm going to try to get the expression. That's Getting a likeness is one thing, but getting a particular expression that's the tricky part.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's like everything in the face changes when they smile or make an expression. So it's like you have to have, I don't know, at least when somebody's sitting in front of you, if you want them to smile, they have to smile the whole entire time.
Right. And then it's hard to keep a natural expression when that's happening.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to have like happy eyes and nose and then the mouth's not smiling. And it's going to look weird. You have to have everything line up for sure.
Steve Lemon from the internet says, thanks for sharing. This is awesome to watch this process and to listen to the discussion. Much appreciated.
Right on. Glad you could join us. Yeah, we'll be doing another one of these tomorrow with Nick Baxter.
So we've got
I don't know if any of our other instructors are going to be joining us as well, but yeah, these exercises are always fun. You can just watch or you can play along, do your own version. And when we do these as Monday night exercises with the Reinventing the Tattoo group, we kind of check out each other's progress as we go. And then, towards the end of the evening, we're able to, look at everybody's finished drawing. Give a little bit of extra time. People can work on it until the following week. Anyone that wants to really go crazy with it, and we'll look at those at the beginning of the next session. So we've had a lot of really fun drawing experiences there as a group. We have guest instructors every now and then. Okay. Well, this isn't the best likeness in the world, but I think what I'm going to do now is make a new layer and redraw it and make this a little lower contrast so that I can easily redraw it. And in that new layer, I'm going to go ahead and get all icky. All right, so I'm going to move to an inking pen here. Am I ready for that? I'm not sure I'm ready for that. I think I'm still going to just work with brushes. Yeah, jagged brush is one of my favorites. It's almost like a pencil when you've got it small enough.
Looks like Kyle's joined us.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey, yo, how's it going?
Having a blast.
We're using Procreate.
Yes.
I am, yep.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's funny. I've barely broken in my new iPad, which was kind of a Christmas gift. And I've been getting by without one for all these ages because of the big Wacom setup that I've got. I'm so habituated to that. But this thing's pretty slick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Adam Rodriguez is in the chat room. He says, our Monday night class is the best. I look forward to it every week.
Right on.
We'll get ready. The upcoming year is going to be pretty awesome with all the intentional lessons leading into each other.
Yeah, it's going to be the same as it's been, but a little different, and I like the idea of being able to just keep building as we go. So we revisit themes every now and then, every 16 weeks, plus a break. And then keep building on it. You're able to, make it more challenging for yourself each time. Somebody who's newer in the class can still do the simpler version of it. Kind of like if you're in a, some kind of class at the gym where, they'll tell you, okay, if you're experienced, go ahead and do the thing where, you reach behind your leg and all the way around your foot. If you're not so experienced, do the simpler version. All right, so now I'm trying to tear through the skin without losing too much of our likeness. I guess you'd see cheekbone coming out here. Yeah, this is fun. I've never zombified anybody. Except for Elvis. I did a zombie Elvis a long time ago. And someone sent me the picture of it recently. It actually still looks pretty good. That's back when I was doing things with like 1/4-inch outlines. I mean, I do that with my bio now, but you know, Elvis with a 1/4-inch outline. It worked out pretty good though, because it's still there.
That's awesome.
My favorite portrait experience, and